Yo, what's up? What's up? Back on live again. Welcome back, guys. All right. Yesterday I had a couple of bad games and good games. Some of the good games I had wasn't posted on Facebook, but it was posted on my YouTube channel. I'll give a link description on my Facebook to where you guys can watch it through my YouTube. I usually use YouTube as my main platform to stream my games. Well, anyways, I do have a couple of games that I play besides this. One is called Homeworld. It's a real-time strategy. One is Rust. I'm not really good with Rust, but sometimes I go on there and goof around. And another RTS game called Sins of a Solar Empire. Well, anyways, those are a couple of games that I play. I am waiting for this game called Homeworld 3 to be released, which I believe it will be released on 2000 in a couple of years. So be ready for that. It's gonna be exciting. It will be good, way better than the previous Homeworld, I'm sure. Actually, the previous Homeworlds are classic in its own, so I don't think you can really top the original Homeworld. But if you do not know anything about Homeworld, go to YouTube and type in Homeworld, and then they remastered the game to keep up with current graphic technologies. So they made everything look good, eye candy graphics and special effects. But go check it out. It has a good storyline, and I'm sure you'll like it. I'm sure you'll love it. The game looks complicated, but once you go to tutorial, purchase the game. Once you go to tutorial, everything will come in place, and it'll be super easy. And you'll be surprised. You'll surprise yourself playing a game that looks difficult to play. So go check it out, guys. All right. So in the meantime, I'm here starting up another game, solo game, and hopefully I get a non-toxic teams. Yesterday it was pretty bad. Some stupid kids were trying to ruin the game, TKing, and I actually got kicked as one of our teammates. I threw a molly down, so if you do enough damage, you get penalized for getting banned. So he intentionally went over to my flame and got banned. Rip troll, solo trolls, kids. Alright, here we go. Game's about to start, guys. Enjoy it. So if you do enough damage, you get a
Let's roll. Nice shot, lad. Throwing a grenade. Throwing fire. Flashbang.
What's up? Where you guys playing?
I'll play mid.
All right.
Hey guys.
Roger that.
2A, 2B.
I'll play
And, okay. I can play B as well.
What the fuck?
Let's go.
Two out of
Roger that.
They're on site.
Coming.
One tag 44, one tag 30.
100 pals.
one in the nest.
Bomb has been planted.
One's on site.
Six and 4 hits. CT.
Terrorists win.
My fault, man.
H-box, man.
Freaking 68 and 4 hits. I don't understand it. Close range.
Could've just sniped him.
I know. It's too late. Okay, I'm netting rep with you guys.
I'm force flying. I'm gonna rush.
Hey
I'm
Joe,
gonna
go
rush.
B.
I'm rushing under
We are
pass.
Oscar Mike.
Open escrow.
Grenade out. Throwing grenade.
They know I'm going under pass. There's like 2 mid.
Grenade out.
Triple
There's
tap.
top. There's top.
What apps?
Oh.
You got B.
He's lit 88.
Oh my god.
One by window.
Terrorists win.
Let's go one more save going. Pistol it. Hold your spot. Try to make him buy.
Why do we only have one person on B?
We got this. Move is done.
Hey, you want a boost?
Fire.
Oh, you good?
No, it's okay.
Granate. Roger.
Mid clear.
That's job. Coming.
Grenade out.
Grenade out.
Good stay.
Alright, I'll
Yeah, I
stay
got
B.
few. One out. Touch.
Dude, that killed me? What? One tag 43. Last guy's tag 43.
Counter terrorists
Oh,
win.
Good thing he bought, huh?
Hell yeah.
You just put it down and pour for a good wheel.
Wait, how did I not get that? Is that fuck?
I thought it was an AK.
He started running away. I was like, what's he doing?
Does anyone want this?
I'll take.
Time to earn our stories.
You don't like using the glow.
Throwing smoke.
Throwing fire.
It's not an AK.
Granate.
So we have an op and we're not being mid up there.
Incendiary out.
Peeky mid 50.
Counter terrorists win.
God damn.
They got wrecked.
Let's save some kills for us, dude.
For
Jesus.
real.
You just had to steal my top frag like that? That's all
Yeah,
good.
dude, what the fuck, dude?
That was too easy.
Damn, bro, we didn't even get to fucking grab any
Remove
weapons,
any
too,
doubts in
dude.
your head. It's us
Too
or
bad.
them.
I and they smoked the front, and I just sprayed the second.
Throwing
Laying down
incendiary.
smoke. Fire in the hole. Blowing flashbang. Incendiary.
I was like, they'll be coming B anytime anytime soon. Watch your A.
Deploying flashbang.
I'm watching it.
Floor mid.
I can flash for you, Blue, if you want.
Laying down smoke.
Flashbang.
Flashing.
Grenade out.
Good kills.
One more time, mid. I'm flashing. Hold up, wait.
Flashbang out.
Oh, I thought I was
One
gonna
more,
shoot you.
one more. Behind the box. There's one more top mid with the behind the box.
Throwing a grenade.
Oh, I fucking rip.
Counter-terrorists win.
I was like, I'm taking this kill from you, motherfucker.
You got a lucky ass headshot.
Whoever was in front of me in Nest, that first kill, I really thought I was about to take your head off.
Maybe
I'll
I
go
think.
B.
Okay.
Maybe I shouldn't have been the third person and sniper.
They're gonna wish they were never born. Throwing fire. Grenade.
Smoking.
Smoke. We're in the clear. Grenade out.
Nothing yet. Back.
Throwing fire. Throwing flashbang.
Got one apps.
Leaving
Here,
mid.
take
Any
it, I'll
more?
watch mid. I'm gonna watch the cat push.
Oh, they're all here. They're all here. Ah, I'm dead.
A-Rap's clear.
Five. He went left.
I'm flashing.
Throwing flashbang.
Bad shot.
Bomb has been planted.
He's punching back.
It's in the smoke still.
Yeah, he's in the smoke.
Nice.
Really sneaky.
I'm working on it.
I'll just buy another.
There's an op. I'm gonna grab the op and
No, grab AKs if you want. Grab AKs. You can just play them on.
Counter-terrorists win.
Affirmative.
His first game on for you guys too.
Yep.
Yep.
Just woke
Yeah.
up.
Yeah, yeah.
I've been
Not
up since 2
me.
a.m. but-
What?
I was playing
Go, go, go.
because I got mad.
You were malding, dude?
Incendiary out.
Really.
Incendiary out.
Throwing smoke. Throwing flashbang. Throwing a grenade.
Big guy ran.
Grenade out.
Oh, okay.
One sandwich.
Damn it.
Counter-terrorists win.
Dude, Jesus Christ. Did you see that?
Up jungle.
Yeah, I seen that.
I thought I fingered my fucking.
Can I get a buy? Joe, you got
Perfect.
all the money.
Sure, man. What you want?
I got an AK, it's fine. You can buy him. I don't.
I have no money, so they're gonna save.
Watch out. These boys have got a bit of an arsenal.
I'm gonna.
Grenade out. Smoke.
Oh, you smoked it?
Fire in the hole.
Somebody at the back.
Yeah, I'll do that. I got.
Throwing fire.
That shot.
One top mid.
Watch me.
Incendiary out.
He sprayed me.
Throwing smoke.
Nice.
One up pass. Oh! 1B. 1B with the bomb.
Nice and glove.
My fault, man. I pushed too far out. I didn't check my corner.
Bomb has been planted. Throwing fire. Fire in the hole. Terrorists win.
Can you buy purple?
I'm about to, yeah.
Please.
Yellow.
Just anything.
I quiet. I'm not pushing out.
What on?
I just want to be.
Laying down smoke.
Throwing incendiary.
Incendiary.
I didn't hear anything, Kyle.
They smoke connector.
Grenade out.
Throwing smoke.
Smoke. Throwing flashbang. Throwing fire.
One's up mid.
Smoke, say.
Clear.
One out, Tetris. How can he?
Lost that
Sam.
fucking kid. Should've smoked, wow.
He's outside.
Terrorists win.
That fucking sucks.
Damn, that guy fucking just wallbanged me through the fucking time. God
Dude,
damn.
I couldn't even see him.
Nah, that's a rip.
I'm just gonna scout.
Can I get a buy? Anybody? Joe?
Sure, man. What do you want?
And 4. Grazie.
Is,
Let's go. Let's go.
Joe, your trigger daddy or something?
I think we played
Incendiary
before.
out.
Mid.
Throwing flashbang.
I'm colorblind. Who's blue?
HBX.
Throwing smoke.
Yup. Two top mid.
Yellow. Let me know if you see anybody.
There's one in Palace.
Cat.
No one's watching air. There's one here.
Flashbang. Incendiary.
One ladder room. Orange.
Oh my god. They're going to A.
Roger that.
This guy's tag 58, by the way.
Flashbang.
He was last seen in Palace a while ago.
Smoke. Counter-terrorist
Nice.
win.
Grab that sit and jungle, Luke.
I don't like that weapon. You like it?
I'd like it.
The SG? What?
Yeah, bro, it's a broken ass weapon.
Two taps in the head, he's dead.
It's one tap actually.
Move it. Move it.
Actually disgusting ass. Those are all using it now.
Throwing incendiary.
Laying down smoke.
One air.
Throwing a grenade. Throwing grenade. Incendiary. Throwing a grenade.
One under.
200. I'm dead.
Throwing flashbang.
I'm not dead. How am I not dead?
Throwing flashbang.
Bomb.
I watch cat push
Be
me.
quick.
Let's go.
One more cat.
He's still in there. Flank him or up. Green.
One on site.
Throwing fire.
One to the right.
Throwing flashbang.
One more.
Okay.
Terrorists win.
That's right.
Honestly, I should just use my utilities. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. Can't think properly.
No, give that to Panda. Green.
Huh?
Yeah. Gotta go.
Thank you.
Come on, let's go. All right.
Deploying flashbang.
There's one area up top.
I made it.
One tap.
Deploying flashbang.
Is that T-spawn?
One top in.
Yeah, there's 3.
Oh, that's hella unfortunate.
Throwing
There's
smoke.
like
191
2,
bullets.
3.
Flashbang.
On A.
Canapé!
I heard one. That's hella unfortunate.
I hear B.
Smoke's on B.
Oh, wow.
I'm gonna just grab the op and save. Grab the op and save.
Terrorists win.
Dude, this Rother guy is fucking sick with an AK and sucks with an op.
That's a lot of people, my man.
Go, go, go!
I played that everyone on drunk too, though, don't worry.
B, 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 B.
Throwing fire!
They might go 3.
Oh, okay, one palace, one.
One time.
Bomb has been planted.
So one
One flash.
He's not nade.
They're still. He's on
like
site.
really like 9.
On site.
Touch up.
Nice job. Did I
got
touch
it.
it 4 times? My
You can
dude
grab my
got
off and mark it.
I'm gonna grab it.
Counter-terrorists win.
AK. There's no AK.
Missed it.
I did it.
Is that your porn music?
Oh, you got the deagle. That was smooth.
Smooth early morning porn music. Oh yeah.
That's right. Oh wait, no, I didn't do math right. That is not awesome.
Lost, lost, lost!
Whoops. Save that because I've sucked the entire half.
Incendiary out.
One mid.
Grenade out! Incendiary out!
There's got one together.
Throwing smoke!
They're coming.
Holy shit.
Back up, back up, back up.
What?
Deploying smoke shield.
Laying down smoke.
One cat.
Okay, one apps.
What?
They're pushing it B. One apps. Like spread out all over.
Grenade out!
I'm.
Bomb has been planted.
Oh, I saw one. Did I clip him?
There's an op.
Yeah, I know.
Flashbang out.
I can.
Last round, buy out. Let's do it. Shit, we're broke.
Okay, well I gave purple my gun.
Love that voice.
Now right here.
Oh, what? No.
Move it! Move it!
Oh, good. I
Your
got
spectating classroom would not like.
Okay, pass
So,
A.
okay,
Nice,
never
we're gonna
mind.
pick an A. Was that A or mid?
maybe just an op.
Yeah.
Incendiary out!
Hold your spot.
Grenade out.
They're like all over. These guys are all over.
Yellow, you can rotate if you want.
I don't see
Deploying
anyone else,
smoke
right?
shield.
I have a shotgun, so I can easily just like jump
Oh,
off the
Yeah.
up short. He's up short. He's on short.
I'm coming to you, Green.
I want that.
These
Connector
guys
one.
are all over the place. I'm gonna wait for a plug
Bomb has
back.
been planted.
A?
It's not on B, it's on B, it's
It's A,
on A,
it's
it's on
A,
A.
it's A.
There's one short. Oh man. One connector. Oh my god.
Defusing.
There's still.
Terrorists win.
Could have.
Honestly, if
I'm
he's
still
stuck,
good
then I
hack,
think
dude.
you
We
got.
want a CT side.
All right, let's troll them the same way. We're all split up.
You there, or do you just want to rush B? Honestly, I feel
Yeah,
like
let's
rushing
rush B. Just
No, walk it. Walk it.
no. Four
Walk
man
it.
rush B. Okay,
I'm
four
gonna
man
spawn
rush B. I'll
patch.
walk mid.
Contact.
It's either we
will
rush
guide them from
it
our
or we
land.
don't rush it.
Exactly. What do you mean?
Contact,
Oh, wait,
you walk, and then as soon as someone shoots at you, you just rush.
It's terrible.
Underpass.
Smoke.
Another one going cat.
Flashing.
Okay.
I got.
baby.
One cat.
One archer sight.
Planning default.
One apps. Fuck.
Oh my god.
Guys.
Yeah. You gotta help purple out. What the fuck? I was trying to help purple out. There's fucking like 2 people shooting at my head.
Hey, let me see the bomb. I'm gonna sneak a plant. Let me see the bomb.
Sneak up.
Yes, make a lot of noise at B. Blue, let me see the bomb. Hurry up. Make a lot of noise at B.
Be safe. Let's go, my friends.
I think he's screaming. I think his mic's just fucked.
Yeah. I had to lower him down at like.
I gotta lower my mic down, sorry.
One connector. Okay.
One
What's our?
Okay, dude. Nice pre-fire onto me, fucking. One.
Alright, we're good.
It's actually ridiculous, dude.
Yeah, you don't. It's playing
Shit.
deep.
Yeah, it's planted.
Bomb has
by the
been
way.
defused. Counter-terrorist.
You don't know how he makes it.
Damn, bro, you just did a backflip, bro.
Let's buy.
plan,
We can buy now. Everybody
Yeah.
get out and grab some kills. We'll meet up at A or somewhere.
We can just like.
Solid
Do we know?
play.
Do we know smokes?
Yeah, I can smoke
can
jungle.
just
We can
smoke.
do it at 1:30. Or
We will
Stairs.
defeat the mercenaries.
Yeah, like.
okay.
I'll get.
Guns out.
I'll get
Exactly 1:30.
stairs.
Don't make any noise. Fuck it, let's do it. 3, 2, 1.
Throwing flashbang.
Go,
I'm throwing flashbang. Throwing smoke.
go, go. Go, go, go.
Grenade. Grenade.
Get outside.
This FE is
He's fucking sick.
Bomb has been planted.
Who's jungle outside, you said?
in jungle, probably going to market. Hiding.
What did he have?
M4, probably took my AK.
Terrorists win.
Guess he doesn't like the better weapon.
No, dude. Just the easy jump.
Same thing.
Can I just get a scout? Oh,
This time 1:30. That's good to go.
130, you said?
Yeah.
Let's go, my
while
brothers.
you guys wait, I'm gonna just rush out.
Wait. Let's
die?
try something different.
I'm throwing smoke.
Because everybody's left together.
Flashbang.
Alright, 1:30.
Throwing a flashbang.
Lit. That's lit.
2 of
I'm
them.
throwing.
Oh my god,
Throwing fire.
One more aiming.
one more aiming.
Smoke.
Alright, get outside.
Blast.
Willow's over here on fucking B site.
Hard rotates.
Market.
Terrorists win.
Yeah.
barely survived that one. The awkward too.
Yeah, they had like 4 people fucking rushing us, dude. What the fuck?
Be safe. Let's go, my friends.
Like, those are like half the buy around, yeah.
Flashback.
Let me go on the box.
Op window.
Block.
Throwing fire. Throwing a flashbang.
One CT.
Chat.
Dead.
One cat.
Stairs, cat. Jungle.
Stairs, one stairs.
There's one in jungle. Oh, he knows you're there now.
Yeah, he knows.
I am planting the bomb.
Damn it.
Get on B, get on B, get on.
One jungle, one jungle.
Throwing a grenade.
Get to be quick.
Grenade.
You have it. You can walk back there.
Yeah, roll.
Nice try.
Bomb has been defused. Counter-terrorists win.
I'm just not hitting any shots right now.
I'm broke.
Okay, do the same thing.
Joe, can you buy me?
So one watches cat, one jungle. Or
Thank you.
just window.
Try
Let's
again.
go, let's go.
Don't watch anything, guys. Hold the picks. Nice.
I just
Joe.
need a smoke CT.
Hold someone.
One's pushing at me.
One going cat.
I'm low, I'm gonna rotate back. Where are we rotating?
Come be.
Where you at? You're on.
I'm throwing a flashbang.
Let's go.
One
No, there's one
connector.
connector.
Dude,
Let me go first.
What?
Hang on, I'm lit.
there's no point. I mean, I'm fucking lit too. Plan for app.
Grenade. Activating the bomb.
Plan for app.
Bomb has been planted.
He's outside.
Take your time. Take your time.
Yep.
Flashbang.
You're wide open, yellow.
What the
Oh,
fuck?
you heard me play
I
time.
just save him, I guess?
No.
Or, I mean, he was.
Challenge him now.
I actually shouldn't challenge him, dude. I don't know, listen.
Don't say that.
Bomb has been defused.
Unless he's at least back at once.
Counter-terrorists win.
Yeah, I know.
He's
I
coming for
think I
you,
should have
that's
just
why.
waited. Well, yeah, but he wasn't that close. Fuck, dude.
That was oof. My,
I knew
that
I
was a gun
should
guy.
have just.
My bad.
I'm gonna need you to put like on point 1 now.
Go, go, go. I'm throwing smoke. I'm throwing a flashbang. I'm throwing a flashbang.
Fuck.
I can flash green pan.
Flashbang.
Oh my god, dude.
Oh, I'm so pissed at this. Nice,
Nice.
Joe.
He tagged him.
One,
He tagged him for
window.
like 80. coming
I
out.
hit him for 74. Fuck.
I told you tagged him for like 80. Alright, I'll time out. What we need that timeout for, boys?
It's Rush V. We need a new chat.
I don't know if we should be listening to you. You're drunk.
I haven't even. No, I'm sober. That's probably the problem.
But he is a monk, so.
What does that make a difference? Drunk being drunk.
That's true.
But a
You
monk
could be
means
a
he's
priest and be
enlightened.
drunk as well too.
We saving or buying?
No,
by
but
the way?
that just means he's fucking like
Are we,
crazy.
are we saving or buying? We're saving.
I don't know. I'm buying an SMG.
Honestly,
Well, it's up to you guys. Yeah,
I guess we can just SMG
Yeah,
or
we
rush
can buy
one. Since Joe bought.
yeah, we could SMG rush B, because B is pretty good. To SMG rush on.
Alright, make sure everybody runs down
Be
and fight.
careful.
Everyone better have at least
We
one
just
flash.
does anyone know how to do this window smoke for B?
All five. We can trade up a B.
Do we know
Guys,
how to do the window smoke?
Get flashes
for B?
over.
I can try it.
Window.
You could try it.
Let go of your mic, please.
Are we walking or rushing? What are we
Yes,
doing?
rush,
Oh my
rush,
god,
rush,
Jesus
rush,
Christ.
rush.
He's still so loud and I have him .1.
Oh my god, hang on. Let me turn my mic down.
We shall rule today.
I'll
Too
do
late
it.
now.
Stop it.
You got a minute to do that.
22 rounds in.
Throwing a flashback. Throwing a flashback. I must say no.
One by
If you want it, let's go in. Fuck it, let's go in. Oh, one's behind.
Someone has to have a smoke.
How's this sound now?
Apparently we didn't have a smoke. We had a flash and a nade, but no smoke.
Oh man, how are we gonna do this?
I am not
We're not-
dropping 30
we're
kills
not
for
losing
us
this.
just to lose.
Yeah, I fucking agree. This
Alright,
is-
you know
not gonna
what?
lose.
Absolutely
Save
right.
the
I'm gonna. Okay, orange clearly doesn't save. Okay. Alright, don't worry. I'll focus around with the Deagle.
Okay.
I have no armor though.
Let it push. I think a couple of them are pushing out. If we
I'm throwing
get
flashback.
them and grab the gun, should be fine.
Oh my god.
Window.
Grenade.
Maybe.
Connector still?
One connector.
Tag that cat as well.
Blue coming in.
Yellow's out B.
We're
Yellow's
on
out
me,
B.
man.
Okay,
Guys.
he's coming.
One's a ladder.
Go market. Clear market, please. Planning for cat. Stay cat. Yellow.
You guys.
There's another one cat.
He's pushed up.
It's a big ferret. And we don't have enough. Not everyone can fucking pull back.
Yeah, we can.
All of us
Oh
can.
yeah, actually we can. Yeah, you're right.
Alright, let's A game, guys.
Someone tell me they trust me. Someone tell me they trust me.
Go, I'll follow you.
Alright, that tells me all I need to know.
Take care of yourself.
Alright, I'll be able to clutch this round.
130? 130 smoke? Wait. Smoke jungle. Somebody
cat.
got
Molly,
flash.
Molly,
130,
Molly.
130. Alright, get ready. 5 seconds. Alright, let's go. Throw that.
There's one cat. There's one cat.
Throw that flag.
Throwing a flashback. I'm throwing smoke.
One's under ball.
Thank you. Nice try.
Grenade.
What do you want to re-smoke? What do you want to re-smoke?
Smokes.
I'm throwing a grenade.
Re-smoking.
Go! Plant the bomb! Do
Glenn, I
something!
got your CT.
I am planting the bomb.
Lightning default.
I'm gonna re-smoke jungle. Re-smoke in
Everybody
jungle.
hide.
Hide.
Just hide. One stairs.
I'm throwing
I choked. I choked. There's two on site.
Defusing.
Kind of bad. Fuck, dude.
counter-terrorists win.
Now we hope to come.
We're gonna die.
I gotta
Let
start
us go.
doing better. God damn.
I think I'm doing fine.
Yes.
Oh,
I'm throwing smoke.
Connector.
One cat. Cat's starting to push.
okay, you just have to say.
One nesting cat.
We'll flash out. We're
I'm
flashing.
throwing a flashbang.
Flashing.
Can't see.
I mean, how many times did I call the flash?
I'm bad. We fucking deserve to lose this. 90 fucking 2 on the palace. Around there.
Yeah, the one
Throwing a
cat
flashbang.
There's one more cat.
Terrorists win.
Oh shit, we won that. What the fuck?
Who, me?
Told you we're gonna win.
He talked to me. Who won that?
Something.
I was so pissed off at that shot. He wasn't even looking at me, man. That's what
Someone
made it
take the
bad.
bomb away from Orange. I don't want him to.
Might lose it when he goes digging through the trash or
Now
something.
is the time.
Like, I can't find it.
Cat pushing.
Don't rush.
B lit.
Smoke.
I'm really slow now.
Let me do something.
Grenade.
Just let him push.
Nice. Good picks.
Defend B,
good
defend
pick.
B.
I'm throwing a grenade.
There's no stamps.
Go, 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 go.
Oh. I'm going out.
Nice.
Dude, B or A?
Flashbang.
Mark it.
Terrorists win.
Jesus Christ.
Holy
You
shit.
guys need to...
Stop. Just
I'm planting the bomb.
pick a side and go with it. Don't be switched last minute.
Dude, someone fucking said go away. And I was like, alright.
Yeah, I did. I was like, wait a minute. They're probably all
You're
rotating.
just so
It's
jumpy.
fucking Orange. I gotta
I heard
fucking
a couple
like
of,
mute him, dude. Holy
market.
shit. I gotta like mute Orange just to be able to
Why
fucking
is this
mute him.
guy the one who like is sometimes insane and sometimes shit accusing us of hacking?
Nice.
brother.
Good.
Two more. You have the op.
Chat,
Go
chat,
B.
chat.
Go get out B, guys. I should be the only one B. Go.
Here, run.
Planting
Or
bomb.
cat. One on B ninja.
Fuck! He's got my AK, man. Fuck this bullshit.
I can flash.
Throwing a flashbang.
Nice.
Go.
Cat.
Oh my god.
Oh, that guy.
Man. I thought I heard that from fucking... I'm marking my
I
bet.
dropped 33 kills and we still fucking lose.
Yeah, fuck you, Joe.
Terrible. We tried.
Writing's not that easy, but Grammarly can help. This sentence is grammatically correct, but it's wordy and hard to read. It undermines the writer's message and the
温和有效的恢复的魔幻麻婆豆腐。
厨艺配角定在明日整，希望你们全力以赴。
温和有效的恢复的魔幻麻婆豆腐。小当家，反正现在材料都齐全了，我们就做做看吧。虽然魔幻麻婆豆腐我并不知道到底是谁做的，不过我就来挑战这6位一体吧。耶！开始喽！首先是绞肉、大蒜蒜末、豆豉、红辣椒，再加上甜面酱，再来是四川料理的灵魂豆瓣酱。这个辛辣味就是第1位辣，1位。接下来就是把它炒到色泽鲜艳为止。来，开头，加了汤头之后，加豆腐，用酒和调味料调味。好，用小火稍微煮一会儿，加了酱油之后，撒上蒜头的嫩叶。这个蒜头叶的香味，这个香味就是第2位，香。2位，同时辣椒的红色，豆腐的白色，再搭配蒜头嫩叶的绿色，这就是第3位，色。3位，太白粉用水调匀，加进去勾芡，就差不多要完成了。将油沿着锅边加进去之后，马上开大火炝锅。当麻婆完成时，锅子也热到快要焦掉，这样子才能煮出最棒的味道和香味。这就是热的美味。烫。4位，好，油已经浮上来了，就是现在。最后再撒上足量的山椒，山椒带点刺激性的辣味，也就是麻。
Let's go, my brothers.
Tank 68.
Let's go long, let's go long.
CT.
Got the bomb, got the bomb, got the bomb.
Smoke!
CT split.
Get the bomb, Miller? Is that possible? You get that.
Cat.
Last guy, 1v1, good luck.
Cat trip.
Activating the bomb. Bomb has been planted. Smoke!
10 bullets.
Damn, my bad, boys.
Sorry, that's right.
Bomb has been defused.
That's one of horses or what? Yeah.
Let's go! Let's go! I'm throwing a flashbang.
Oh, I fucked it.
One lower turns. Bombs down.
Coming back green.
Smoke!
I smoke cross.
Guys, lower. Nice.
Should we rotate or go back for sight? It's just this one left. No,
Grenade!
Take me
I
back.
am planting the bomb. Terrorists win. Throwing a decoy.
Garbage.
Check long green. I got your flash.
Be safe. Let's go, my friends.
Or not. Never mind.
I'm throwing
Don't
smoke.
push.
Throwing a flashbang.
Why not?
Smoke! Fire! Throwing a flashbang.
There's one by smoke.
Smoke!
Maybe, I don't know.
Throwing a grenade.
Sight, sight.
Side dead. We left bomb somehow.
No, so good shit. Choked.
Grenade!
Off? What the fuck?
Planting.
Flap long, flap long. Where was he?
Has been planted.
Cat.
Hide. I'm so low.
Terrorists win.
Going AK?
That'd be great. Nice.
You want the long green
Yeah, two
or
are.
yellow?
So one cross, two cross. Cross.
I'm throwing smoke. Throwing a flashbang.
Thank you.
Nice. Let's go.
One turn.
Where they could
One
get
long.
that.
They could be long. Last guy could be long.
Oh wow, it's last guy already.
Yeah, they fucked up. They're pushed.
Terrorists win. Planting. We must move.
Two cross.
I'm
One
throwing a
cross back
flashbang.
there.
Smoke.
Keep crossing back and forth like a bitch.
Flashbang.
Shoot two cross though.
Smoke.
One's by mid. My head. He's by Xbox. Or was. They smoke long doors instead of you guys.
I'm throwing smoke. Throwing a flashbang.
Ramp. Off.
Go B. I got a two big guns.
Yeah.
we smoking
I'm
now?
throwing smoke.
Yep. I got behind us. I'm low health.
Need a sec.
Grenade. I'm throwing smoke. Planting. Bomb has been planted. I'm throwing a grenade.
One spot mid. Are we saving now?
Just open the door.
Oh no, I missed. Yeah, he's still there. Probably fell back out.
The bomb is taken down.
They should be broke.
Now is the time.
I'm gonna shut door.
2. 1 mid door.
Smoke. Throwing fire.
One way towards CT.
Smoke.
Oh, I slung.
I'm throwing a grenade.
Okay, fuck this. We're just taking around mid. Not doing anything.
This one's back here.
Okay,
I'm throwing a
one.
flashbang.
Mid, top, up mid.
Right,
the
right.
50. Under.
One, one, good luck.
There's an arm mid behind barrels.
Gotta go, 35 seconds.
Yes, sir. Nice walls.
Spray those kids down.
Damn right.
Just shit on all of them.
Your dog's going off.
See, you gonna be big or what? Good luck, all
Flashback. Smoke. I'm throwing a flashbang. Smoke.
Keep falling off hard. One of them left.
Terrorists win.
Alright, I fucked up though. I should've came with you guys.
We will defeat the mercenaries.
Oh, I should cross. Let us know.
94 though. I'm throwing smoke.
in the middle.
One behind.
One was mid.
Who's your op? Over here.
Yeah. There we go. Go be with triple. Go be with triple. He's window.
It was window.
Throwing a flashback.
Nice. 1v1, you got this.
I'm throwing smoke.
CT.
I am planting the bomb. Grenade.
No way! Fuck this bullshit!
Counter-terrorists
Did I run out of bullets? Oh my
Damn,
god.
bro. He 200 IQ that kid too. Nice try.
Haha.
I thought that was the dub.
That was, yeah. I didn't even know that gun
You-
didn't have any more bullets. Here, who needs to drop? Yellow, you want one?
Let's go. Sure.
They're just fucking opping out now.
Flashback.
Flashing one.
Smoke. Flashbang.
That's right.
Smoke.
Can you flash?
Hopper.
Flash.
Flashing.
Flashbang.
Is that flash?
One dead.
What's the guy?
Nice. One was CT.
Last one was off.
Plant the bomb for long.
Right side.
I'm planting the bomb. Bomb has been planted. I'm throwing a flashbang.
Nice. Should we get another op? Yes? Yeah.
Yeah.
Who wants it?
I kind of do. Yeah, can you toss it over here? You can reach.
No,
Be like
too
that.
far.
Be like that. Look so.
Let's go.
Alright, we're doing good. Hold for picks.
2 cross. 3 cross.
Go down.
They smoked mid. Bottom mid. Smoked.
Nice.
Shit.
Two mid.
Fucking
Mid.
missed.
Wait, continue. They're pushing out mid. None spawn.
Two
cat.
spawn and one cat. Top mid.
Throwing a flashbang.
Two cat.
Both floor. Good luck.
I am planting the bomb. Bomb has been planted.
Play smart, boo. Too exposed. Good. That's one.
Sorry guys, I'm fucking playing shit right now.
Bomb has been defused.
I won't make you carry a sponge.
Counter-terrorists win.
Yeah.
It's not fair. It's not fair. It's not. They're
Thanks
just
for
supposed
carrying.
to though.
You got this.
I won't make you do it. I mean, step up. I can't be using the op anymore. I fuck up, eh?
Go, go, go!
Let me see the bomb. Purple.
It's no problem.
Yeah, basically see nothing.
I'm throwing a flashbang!
Spawn care.
I'm throwing smoke!
Window.
CD, CD.
CT1.
Just get the plant.
Nice try.
Bomb has been defused. Counter-terrorists win.
Can we take long? It's split.
I got flash.
Forward!
We take together.
Throwing a flashbang!
Let's go. We gotta get up there before they rotate.
Smoke! Flashbang!
Right,
I'm throwing flashbang! I'm throwing...
Flashing again.
you ready?
Counter-terrorists win.
Wait, somebody pushed right behind us?
We must move.
Yeah.
We
were
gotta stop
super
that
late.
aggression. I mean, we shouldn't be losing like that. Like, getting flanked. We can wait for them. See how aggressive you get? It's pissing.
Better push over tons.
Decoy!
They have one on site still.
Window.
One CT. Go long. Purple, go long. Yeah, it's clear, by the way.
Planting. Bomb has been planted.
Nice, dude.
I'm throwing smoke.
Purple has long.
Tagged him.
Terrorists win. We are going to do this.
Good work.
Orange, can I get a buy? Thanks, dude.
Let's go, let's go!
You should push it. Be
Flashback! Smoke!
Only still inside. Okay.
Throwing a
Go
flashback.
B. Mid to B. Let's go mid to B.
I'm throwing smoke. I'm throwing a flashback.
Notes from that.
Smoke.
Come B. Nice.
Ready, guys?
Balls down.
Option. Let's see.
I am planting the bomb. Grenade. Throwing a flashback. Throwing fire.
Watch tunnel.
You see.
He was on top of the box.
Rip. He knows where the key
Dead.
comes.
Can you go? We do be needing that though.
Hell yeah.
Oh, bitch. Fuck that guy. Can someone buy me a pistol? Can you buy me like a deagle? Green?
Let's be safe and swift. I'm throwing a flashback.
Wait, maybe. Look how aggressive that fucking silver is. Getting away with it.
Yeah, they smoked.
Throwing fire.
Oh, not aggression.
Smoke.
Yeah, I don't understand.
One lower.
Shoot one
He's got my
long.
AK. He's still there.
One A side.
I'm throwing a flashbang.
53 lower.
One A side,
Right, Taylor,
2v2,
where do you wanna
one
go?
A, one lower. You guys know where
Yeah,
they're at.
off band and off band. We could rotate if you want. I'm pretty hard to T.
Check car. Oh, both CT. You see them.
I'm planting the bomb.
What? You smoke cross or no?
Bomb has been planted.
Play smart, guys. Don't expose yourself. One pushed in.
Fuck.
That guy is crazy. What?
Yeah.
Yeah, he is, dude. He flashed me so
hits
hard.
hard.
Defused. Counter-terrorists win.
He hits all of those. That op, like. You can never get out of silver. It's impossible.
Let's move out.
I miss you, Orange.
Incendiary out.
I'll pop you.
Hey,
all
one
I
coming,
used to
Orange?
make.
One's coming?
Can't really hit me with the smoke. Dead. Bomb.
Got one. Probably gonna go B. That was one cat. That was bomb.
They're 2B. Both of them are they.
Both B's.
One was window, yeah. And one's coming from tunnel.
Bomb has been planted.
Go together. Oh, nice.
Shit, I'm
Flick.
running.
Get in there together. Nice, guys.
easy
That's
fire.
it.
Yo, that flick was fucking crazy.
You do be flicking though.
I'm surprised he didn't shoot me, dude. Like, I don't even know how the fuck he looked away. Flashing for you.
Deploying flashbang.
One bot mid fast.
Incendiary. Flashbang.
Shit. And then flash again.
Smoke. Flashbang.
Is he long?
Yeah, he killed him.
He tried to sneak in behind my smoke.
Hey, we can do that shit.
Mid door.
You dirty bastard.
Okay.
All right.
Mid, mid, mid.
Counter-terrorists win. Roger that.
I'll go ahead.
We're wasting time. Let's go.
Watch it, watch it.
Throwing flashbang. Incendiary. Fire in the hole. Throwing smoke.
Mid door.
That's the one. He's Xbox.
Next one. Got my op blue. It's on mid door.
One more top mid.
Just kidding, he took it. That
Nice.
Counter-terrorists win.
I hate this game. It's so stupid.
You want this shit?
You can have it.
Okay.
Move it. Laying down smoke. Smoke. Deploying flashbang. Throwing fire. Incendiary out. Throwing a grenade.
What's up, man?
Copy that.
Nice. Watch along again.
Grenade out.
Long as me.
Bomb spotted low.
Mid.
Lower
One spot it.
mid door.
Watch my lower. Bomb's long.
Nice.
Counter-terrorists win.
Shit.
Nice little plane, eh? Could be looking kind of clean though.
That was a down low. They gave wreck.
Yeah, and you committed. This game is dumb. I hate it.
Go. Smoke.
Well,
Throwing smoke. Throwing fire. Deploying flashbang.
Yeah.
Throwing fire. Grenade out.
oh shit, oh shit.
One jump down the CT. He's in there.
Mid door.
Good
Bomb A. Last guy.
This cat, away from me.
Terrorists win.
Buy it. Purple. Oh.
What on? Laying down smoke. Laying down smoke. Graduate out.
One cat.
Incendiary out. Throwing flashbang. Throwing a grenade.
One more long.
One
Cat.
down. On me. Oh, that's
Okay,
a chat.
rotating. Last guy was cat? Or long?
No, last guy was long.
Okay.
Long.
Log.
Late 33.
Oh shit, the
Actually,
opera, don't peek him.
Yeah, just pick up.
Well,
There's all.
it's hurt though, right?
Throwing flashbang.
Dude, dude.
Oh, shit. His double door B. 30 seconds.
Smoke.
Oh, milk.
Get the bomb. 15 seconds.
Terrorists win.
Oh, yeah, I forgot it was at the entrance. Yeah.
Ooh, yellow. Hook me up. Oh, purple might need hookup. Ooh, shit.
What do you need? Do you need something?
I got both
Okay.
of us off, bro.
Go, go, go. Smoke. Point fire.
I'm milk fine, I'm milk.
He's still mid.
Through the
Multiple
door.
mid.
You got beat, bro.
Right leg hit nobody.
Calm down, calm down.
Nice try. Good.
Yes.
Bomb has been planted. Deploying flashbang. Flashbang. Throwing flashbang.
Nice try, he's the other ass, so.
Move it, move it.
He dirty mess ups.
Watch for that mid again.
Throwing smoke.
One cat.
I'll watch it with you. I'll watch lower though.
Incendiary.
Okay, I guess.
Throwing flashbang. Deploying flashbang.
Nothing mid.
Can you go through tunnels, Orange, or what?
Well,
Okay, yeah. Mid. Top A. One
Okay.
going ramp now.
round. Car.
think we should save. Nate, I'll smoke middle. Nate sack long. They've been pushing long for quite a while.
Throwing smoke.
They stack two of this.
Grenade.
Okay, I'm pretty sure Bartman as well.
Man, go me.
Bomb up, you guys.
With the bomb, 98.
Nice.
One's on it. I think one was a cat.
Let's just play sides.
I'm going long. Somebody take my B.
Yeah, I got B.
Go, go, go.
Wait, I'm scared. Okay.
You fucking fast.
Incendiary.
Wow, where are you?
Incendiary.
Smoke.
Grenade out.
Good one's coming.
Cat.
One more B right
Laying down smoke.
now. He's got me doors, left side.
Throwing flashbang.
Man, fuck that kid.
That's from my side.
Flashbang.
Fucking A, dude.
The reverse
Nice try,
target.
nice try.
This guy hits those nades too, man.
-5 now, fuck these kids.
Form up. Let's go.
Let's play passive. Green.
Oh,
Yeah.
this is not right. Be careful, be careful.
I got you, Cap.
Grenade out. Throwing smoke. Incendiary.
Long.
Fire in the hole.
What the fuck?
Flashbang.
There is a headshot in there.
Power rotating. Good shit. One of you guys want to boost me?
Throwing flashbang. Deploying flashbang.
They took on me.
He's in pay.
That's not bombed up. Care.
Stay in pair. Oh.
Throwing flashbang.
Auto? You can walk back there. You can walk back in.
I'm talking garbage.
Deploying flashbang. Throwing smoke.
He's probably on ramp already.
Bomb has been planted.
Let's go, dude.
Fucking dogs.
Fucking pick up that auto, dude.
Dog shit, bitch.
Bomb has been defused. Counter-terrorists win. Yes. Roger that, boss.
Damn, finally broke the streak. Good shit.
Somebody want this shit?
Nah, give me an M4.
I'll take it if
Let's
you
go.
want it.
I'm about to fucking watch me.
We got another auto.
Laying down smoke.
Ouch.
Flashbang. Deploying flashbang. Throwing fire. Throwing fire.
What's low?
There's one coming, he's lit 70.
Smoke. Throwing a grenade.
take it, you gotta watch mid though.
This is our day. Deploying flashbang. Incendiary out. Canapé. Smoke.
I'm so sure. I got rush mid. Whoa, two.
Life is that. I saw that shit, dude. I got a recording, bro. Give me my next bit.
Where?
One's top mid. He's top mid.
They're
Guys.
everywhere.
Bomb has been planted.
I got pissed so bad.
Oh shit!
He could be rotating.
Can we buy? Yes. By the way, let's
I
go.
got this.
Yeah.
Just hold. I got this. These guys are dog ass.
Okay, we know they're going
We're
over the
wasting time. Let's go. Throwing
I'm
smoke.
gonna hold mid.
Throwing flashbang.
I want to push this shit.
Incendiary out.
Okay. I'm not watching cat, but I hear him up here. At least two okay.
Purple.
What
Go
they got?
walk in, I'll get it.
Another one. This is locked. Going cat. It'll probably be on A.
God,
Flashing this purple. I'm flashing it.
please rotate. Couple of cat bombs also.
Somebody go long. I'll go long. Nice. We're coming.
This.
Nice.
Good shit.
Two more.
Wait for me. I'm going long.
About to nade their dicks.
No! 56 outside! Oh my god! I fucked that up. Oh, last guy's 56.
Who are you got?
Last guy's 56.
Just peek it. White peek it.
Just challenge him. He got more health.
White peek.
It's solid.
Let's go!
I'm defusing the bomb.
For the
GG
boys.
boys.
For the boys.
GG.
Let's go. Counter-terrorists win. We defeated them.
Had to get that one in. You know I clutch both those rounds for the boys. Made up for my first half. I was fucking playing like dog shit.
Welcome to the Borderlands Show, Vault Hunters. On today's show, Stream Team member and host of the Bordercast, Mitsu, is here as a special guest host representing you, the community. We talked to Borderlands 3 live lead Graham Timmons about Borderlands 3 content updates past, present, and future, including the update roadmap shared in the community love letter earlier today on Borderlands.com.
Be right back.
Graham answers your questions regarding future updates, balance changes, content drops, and more. We're announcing Borderlands 3's next seasonal event and sharing the first ever footage. Plus, we are going to tell you what to expect out of the Gearbox panel at PAX East later this month.
That is a mighty lineup of information, but of course, we're back with some more golden keys for you in Borderlands 3, so stay tuned for that as well.
It's a humdinger of a show, kiddo, so don't go anywhere. That's That's right, we're back, everybody. Of course, you need to subscribe. Twitch.tv/Borderlands, YouTube.com/Borderlands game. And of course, send in all your questions to be part of the show. Kindafunny.com/Borderlands. But enough about that. Mitsu's here.
Oh, God.
Yay!
Hi, everybody. Hello, chat. Because I know you guys are going to be like, who's Mitsu? Or some of you guys are just going to lose your minds.
They know who Mitsu is.
I guess
That's
fair.
the thing, is it's going to be an interesting chat to watch. Because there's going to be, as usual, a whole bunch of people like freaking out that you're on the show. Then other people be like, who is this guy?
Yeah.
So let's start there.
Okay.
Mitsu, who the hell are you?
So I am a streamer. I stream on twitch.tv/Mitsu Show, MITSUSHOW, and on Twitter, twitter.com/Mitsu Show. I play primarily Borderlands, Borderlands 3 specifically.
Yeah,
you might
fit
have
in
heard
well
of it.
here?
It's
You
a
fit in
game
well
that
here?
came out
Yeah,
very recently. I got my start I go back a long way. I was inspired by streamers from a long time ago, specifically like St. Vicious, and they had very similar humor styles to me.
Sure.
And I was like, well, if he can kind of do that, so can I. So I saved up some money, bought some equipment, and the rest is kind of history with that. As far as Borderlands, I got my start playing Borderlands. Some friends told me about first-person shooters.
Okay.
Because I had played my favorite game of all time, Half-Life. I don't know if you've heard of it.
I've heard of Half-Life too.
Yeah, a second one came out. We're still waiting for a
yeah.
third. You never know. I got my start doing that. We moved into Borderlands. A friend of mine turned me onto the game, and I loved it. Messing with loot and shooting at the same time.
Sure.
Yeah.
Where can you go wrong? Come on. What are you doing? So I was in a weird financial situation, and I couldn't actually afford Borderlands 2.
Is that what they call broke?
Yes, I was broke.
I've been in a weird financial situation a lot as well.
Yes. It was layman's term broke. So what happened was a bunch of friends of mine got together for my birthday because Borderlands 2 was released on September 18th. My birthday is September 19th.
Very nice.
They bought me Borderlands 2 for my birthday.
Uh-huh.
And I was truly blessed because, 6 months later is when I started streaming. And
That's awesome.
the one game where everybody came back, thank you, chat, for doing so, is Borderlands. And that's how I got involved in the Borderlands community, thanks to some really dedicated friends.
So wait, how do you go from being a Borderlands streamer, a big Borderlands fan, to now being so ingrained with the franchise, I guess, right? Because you're obviously running Borderlands shows yourself, right?
Yeah.
Every week.
Right. I feel like the eternal fan who just got really lucky. It's an incredible feeling. I wish I could do more. I hope to be a bigger part of the process as we go on.
I mean, you're welcome here anytime.
Yeah.
I've been trying to drop Fran like a hot potato for a long time.
This
You know what I mean?
last
This is
show,
your audition.
everybody.
Yeah.
I know what's
cannot.
happening here. Try them out.
You know,
I
Fran, we
need
need you
Fran,
to go
though.
report on location. Why don't you go down there?
Smash cut too. Nobody's here. What's going
Oh,
on?
that's weird.
I need Fran, though. Somebody's got to help me with my hair because I have no idea what I'm supposed to do.
I
with this.
appreciate
that is what
Yeah,
Fran's good
yeah.
at. That's
We had a little
Fran
hair
is amazing.
consultation before
Yeah?
we did the show.
Did he tell
It was
you
good.
you're not supposed to condition every day? This changed my life when he told me that. I didn't know
Depending
that.
on your hair type.
I really didn't know that.
Can over condition.
I didn't know that. Now I never condition. I digress. Mitsu, for people who don't know and are meeting you for the first time, they understand you like it. They understand you stream it. What about the Bordercast? What about Ultimate Vault Hunter?
Okay, so the Bordercast is a show that we do on Fridays at 7 p.m. on the official Borderlands channel, 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific. And one of the things that we get to do is my co-host Tess and I, Tessachka, we get to talk about Borderlands from a more community-oriented perspective.
Sure.
So one of the things that we like to do is to narrow things down. We get to look at these hot fixes, we get to break them down so that people who might not necessarily be familiar with them, they get to understand in a more layman's term, well, what does this mean for me as a FLAC player? What does this mean for me as a general player? What about a casual player? What about a player who is more hardcore oriented? Where do I fit in the grand scheme? And then Tess and I can talk about that because she has different perspectives on the game as a casual player, and I have different perspectives on the game as like a casual hardcore.
The question then becomes, you get this one show, the Bordercast, where you get to go into the minutia, right? Every
Absolutely.
week, see what's going on.
Yeah.
What is Ultimate Vault Hunter?
Ultimate Vault Hunters is a little bit of a different concept where the best woman at my wedding and a close friend of mine, Liz, 55, she is going to be sitting down and talking with some of the more hardcore aspects. This is one aspect that we don't quite go into as much on the Bordercast, which is where Ultimate Vault Hunters kinds of sets itself apart. You're going to have people like Jolt's Dude on. You're going to have people like Killer 6 on. People who are well ingrained in the community, who can delve deep into the numbers. Lazy Data, who breaks this game down for every element it is. And they will teach you how to be better at this game, where they came from, why they have such a rich background and history and knowledge of these games. And they'll probably give some opinions as well on what they think of the game now and where they want to go with it.
That's awesome. Yeah, I love the
think
fact there's such different products, right?
Yeah.
Because you have one for casuals, you have one for the super hardcore. Fran and I are here. Fran not saying anything of any value. Me trying to carry the show, you know?
Don't
absolutely.
be mad at Zane, dude. I know that's what this
The
is
problem
about.
is it's
Oh.
flip. The problem is it's flip. When I was picking questions for, of course, kindafunny.com/Borderlands. When I was picking questions this month, so many people are starting to go around the bend now, where they're making fun of me and the thing and trying to defend Fran. I won't have it. I won't have it. No.
You're outnumbered at this table. Do you realize that? Because I'm a member of the Zane gang too.
Oh, that's great. Okay. Well, you know, I'm moving on, of course. Borderlands show, everybody. This is your February episode. You might say, hey, where was the January episode? We didn't do one. We were trying to do one, of course, Fran.
Yeah.
We were ready to do one, but the team at Gearbox needed a little bit more time because they were working on so many different updates, so many different cool fixes, things that, of course, were addressed today in the community letter, obviously, that we're going to get pretty much spend a long, long time talking about because so much is going on.
I think we can say it was worth the wait, though. There's a
100%.
lot of
Look at me.
information. Yeah.
Oh, you
Yeah,
mean
look
because
at-
of the show?
Oh,
No,
wow,
the
man.
stuff we have to talk about is great, too. Graham's
You
gonna be
look great, though.
Oh, thank you.
That's
I do,
what you're
right?
saying.
I
Yeah.
know.
It was worth the
Feeling
wait,
really
you know,
good,
just
yeah.
to see you back.
Thank you, Fran. You know what I mean?
I
I like
really-
2020 Fran.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course. And then the other piece of housekeeping before we really get into the nitty-gritty of everything happening here on the Borderlands show. Gearbox is, of course, planning to reveal the second paid campaign expansion at PAX East. This will be during their panel Thursday, February 27th. That's going to be at 11:30 a.m. PT, 2:30 p.m. ET if you're over there. You get your first look at the next add-on, as well as a look at the future content roadmap for Borderlands 3. And yes, it will be streaming live on Twitch. Don't worry. You will be able to watch it just like you're watching it now. It'll be up later. It'll be all over the place. You'll get the news. You don't want to miss it, just like all the stuff we're going to talk about today. So instead of talking about that anymore, let's talk about what we've been playing. Of course, it's DLC 1, Moxie's Heist of the Handsome Jackpot.
What we've been playing.
So guys, last time we had a Borderlands show, we, of course, got to team up.
Yeah.
Liz, Tess, me, Fran. We went out there, the dream team as we call it. We got to play our first taste of Moxie's Heist. Since then, it's come out. I've played it, gotten all the trophies. No big deal. Don't worry about it, everyone. Thank you, Barrett. Thank you, Barrett. Yes, they're right there. Mitsu, what was your take of what you've played? And I'm assuming you've beaten it a million times over and done everything.
Oh my goodness, it's almost better than the main game.
Yeah.
Wow,
It's that, and I love the main game. It's actually one of my top 5 games of all time. The DLC 1, is
it's so cool.
It enriches the story. It feels so much like Borderlands 2, which I think the story was great, but this took it to another level. This brought back a lot of the plot points and beats that we missed. We missed Jack.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's hard to not feel like Borderlands 2 when it's Jack yelling at you all the time, which is great.
And of course, minor spoilers here if you haven't played anything. I mean, Jack's in the trailer. I'm not saying that's the spoiler. I'm just saying, hey, if you haven't played anything, we might say something, and you're like, oh, dang it.
Yeah.
I don't know why you talk like that. I'm sorry.
It's like, who is that?
No, that was,
That's
I mean,
generic cowboy guy.
I'm right there with you, Mitsu, of like playing it. I was like, this is why I love Borderlands.
Yeah.
And it was funny because as much as we knew going into it was going to be this heist that Moxie was setting up, it didn't dawn on me that the missions I was doing, the team that I was assembling a team.
Yeah.
Until finally I think it was down to like the last 2 people. Like, all right, there's 2 more people, and everybody was talking, and I was like, oh, I see what we're doing. This is rad. And let alone, the environments being so varied. Let alone the fact that I feel throughout Borderlands 3, right, like I was doing fine on money. But then to go into this thing and it's just like, give me all the cash. I'm playing on Mayhem 3. It's just like raining on me. I'm like, yes, everything.
I had a chance to play with Brooke AB and Symphony. I believe they play Minecraft, Call of Duty, Fortnite, a couple other things. And they were kind of new to the series. Okay. And they had maybe to that point, I think they were level 15, 16. They'd saved up maybe $1,000.
Yeah.
And then they go in there and they're popping slot machines
Every
and
time.
they walk away with $1 million by the time we finished our playthrough together. They lost their minds. They thought it was the greatest thing ever. We can afford stuff now. We know what's going on. We can just sit around and get money. It was interesting to see that kind of perspective of a new player kind of jumping in there because there's something for everybody in DLC 1. There's something for everybody. The hardcore, there are plenty of new and returning loots. The Nukem's in there. Everybody loves the Nukem.
Yes.
Then,
oh my God. That's what that was my talking point on it.
The Nukem?
In addition to how beautiful it is, but when I got the Nukem, I was just like, this gun is just so much fun to use.
Yes.
It's just absurd. It's like this mini nuke if you are not familiar with it. But
It
the sound
literally
it
lives up
makes,
to its name.
and it's a good gun as well.
Yeah.
So it's like actually, it doesn't just look cool. It destroys as well. It's pretty awesome.
It's nice. Rocket launchers have struggled sometimes historically in Borderlands. And to have the Nukem come back and feel a little bit more balanced was wonderful. That's same thing with the Ion Cannon, which was a new addition for this game. The Ion Cannon, which we will talk about in a little bit, it was a very strong weapon and a great addition to the game.
Oh, such a cool gun to get.
Yeah, off of a really cool boss, Fabricator. Fabricator was a really fun boss to actually go through. It felt like an old school Borderlands boss.
Sure. Yeah, there was, I mean, I was running around playing with my wife, right? And it was that thing of like, I'm running, like, okay, don't die, don't die, don't die. All right, cool. Is he doing the thing? He's doing the thing. Run and get him. Like, you had to wait. You had to communicate, which I love. But for me, it was also then the humor, right? Which Borderlands 3 obviously is chock full. But like, when I launched the guy off on his rocket into space, right? Meeting Clapstructor and building Clapstructor and then leaving Clapstructor in the state you leave Clapstructor, right? Like, it was so good. It was like, this is what I want. This is the characters and the personality and seeing that all exude, right? And even like, I thought they did such a cool thing, and I know it happened in our Let's Play video, but, you know, early on when you introduce Moxie to, you know, the new Jack, right? Proto Jack, right? Of
course.
And she steps off and gets in his face and starts yelling at him from holographic form. It's like, this is rad. This is cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It conveyed the message that it was supposed to. Moxie's in charge. Moxie's in control. Because her hologram is probably maybe a couple inches taller than she is, but she's looking down on young Timothy.
Yeah.
And you really get that sense that Moxie's in charge here, and she's going to impose her will on everything going on, which is wonderful to see.
Did we ever think Moxie wasn't in charge, though? Just
no,
but even more so, probably.
Yeah, it's just nice to see her push people around again.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and hopefully this leads to her kind of running something in the future.
Yeah,
I'd like to revisit this place and see what she does with it.
That'd be rad.
That's why I like the DLC so much. And as a reminder, right, I never had the time. I always wanted to get into Borderlands, but I never had time till recently to play Borderlands 1 and 2. And so my sentiment, right, isn't maybe nostalgia is not the same as others, but these two characters just they're so amazing, you know, Jack, and so to have them both in a DLC. But as I've pointed out to a lot of people, the aura, the vibe of the art style and everything is so cool. It's probably my favorite part of Borderlands is this expansion.
Yeah.
The Handsome Jackpot is such a cool location. If you haven't checked it out, you know, they're not asking us to sell you, right, the new campaign add-on. I legitimately had tons of fun in this world.
Yeah.
And it's just beautiful, and the soundtrack is dope as
the
well.
soundtrack's
Oh, my
awesome.
goodness.
So cool.
Yeah.
Oh,
that
wow.
80s vibe to it, right? The synth and stuff. Yeah.
It's really cool.
Capstone by Freddie.
Yeah.
Freddie with
Yes.
his party up front, or business up front party in the back.
Yeah.
Kind of
The
hairstyle
mullet
going
action.
on. Yeah.
Totally.
So good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Only
Had a
complaint
lot
I
of fun
had.
with
Only complaint I had was at Firebug Trophy because I'm flack and my head was too big to make that jump, and I wasted so many millions of dollars doing it until my wife walked in the room and said, "I think your
Right,
hitbox
you
is
have
too
to-
big," and I changed to Moe's, and I was like, "Dang it,
Zane
come on!"
had no problem, right?
Oh
No
my
problems
God,
with
it's
Zane.
not
right?
about
No,
Zane
not at
right
all,
now.
because he's the best character ever, of course.
All right, moving on. Every time you do this is going to be a transition. Is that what you want? I'll end this show right now. Mitsu, what has the take in the community read been on Farming Frenzy and the rare spawn stuff that's been happening, the richest stuff?
Nigh universally positive.
Yeah.
I can't express enough how happy the community is about all of these changes. Every plot point that has been introduced in terms of making rare spawns no longer rare, making it so that if you go and farm something, you have a higher chance of actually getting it. The big issue was you could go and farm something like Grave Ward for a while, and you would just get showered with legendaries. It might not be what you want, but you know you're going to get
Somewhere in
something.
that pile of legendaries was something hopefully you were looking for.
Exactly. And
Before
so
these
now
changes.
the idea is to shift the onus off of going after these big bosses and just getting showered with legendaries and maybe getting what you want, and targeting your farming to what you know you need for your builds.
Yeah.
And for the hardcore audience and the casual audience, this is
it's
a
great.
huge deal.
Sure.
Because
Casual, if you know you just want a gun,
Right.
you want this cool gun, you
Yeah.
now know where to go get it, and you know how you can actually try to get it.
Yeah, and even casual players know what the current meta thought is. They know what these builds are, but they don't have the time. So you don't have the time to just throw yourself at a big boss over and over again, especially if you're struggling to kill it, to get the thing that you need to kill it easier.
Yeah.
Okay? So if you have a targeted drop, for example, for Amara, you want the Spiritual Driver mod. So you know now if you go to Celestro and Atomic, eventually Celestro is going to drop Spiritual Driver faster than if you went and tried to farm it anywhere else.
Sure.
And that's wonderful to see.
Yeah. I mean, it gives us something to do. Like that's they'd had a few weeks of these types of events before where they were mixing things up and increasing. But now that it's a permanent addition, and I know they worked on that for months actually.
Absolutely.
We talked about it on the show, so I'm super happy with it. I know the community is too.
Yeah. And I think that going forward, this will be a very jubilant change. there are probably people on Twitter losing their minds right now. I can think of Killer 6 and Jolt's probably, firing guns in the air, celebratory about how happy they are to finally see this happening.
Well, I mean, there's so much more that is happening, obviously, with the letter today. We're still working there. Remember, of course, if you want to do the DLC, it's part of the Season Pass, also in the Super Deluxe Edition, and then that Rare Spawn Riches event still going on right now you can jump into. And then the big news, before we get to the huge news, and before we reveal the next seasonal event, because there's so much happening in this show, right? Takedown scaling is now a permanent feature.
That is, yes.
Yes, of course, Malawan Takedown came out, and everybody like me and Fran were like, it's too hard. What are we doing? And now it's scaling permanently. Right? That's the thing. Mitzi, do you want to explain more about that?
Okay, so when Mollywan Takedown came out, there was a specific vision I think that Gearbox kind of had where they wanted to push players towards going into a more cooperative environment. They wanted 4 players to play these events, these takedowns.
Yeah.
Okay? And that's wonderful. Because I like that idea.
Oh, yeah.
But Borderlands as a whole and as a community, we don't always want to be pigeonholed into having to do cooperative play. We want it there so that if we're hanging out with our friends, there's a challenge for when our friends are there. But we also, not everybody is going to be able to pull people together, or you only have a limited amount of time that might conflict. And you can't just like hop into matchmaking, or you just don't want to risk it. Some people just like playing Borderlands alone. For example, my co-host Tess. Tess likes playing Borderlands by herself most of the time. She'll play with other people, but she wanted to try and take Mollywan Takedown down by herself. And so now this scaling change has vastly improved her enjoyment of Mollywan Takedown. Now she can go in, mess around as much as she wants. She's able to clear it by herself. That is a change that's huge for her.
Yeah.
It's a huge incentive to actually go and do it now. And hopefully, in the future takedowns will also have that if that's something they continue doing.
Sure.
Yeah, I'm sure they'll end up going down that road. Like, it seems like that's where we're going, and we'll talk about it in some of the updates, but like, they've been just listening to the feedback, and they'll put stuff out, and if we respond, they seem to be looking into keeping those things permanently around, and so I would expect it.
Yeah, with Borderlands 3, I think that Gearbox is doing such a great job of listening to the community and, taking those things and putting them into action. Before we get off takedown scaling, though, important to point out, the February patch is coming. That will introduce the ability to toggle on or off the original tune for 4-player co-op. So you can, it'll be automatically, it's going to scale to whatever size your party is. But if you want to click it, it's the traditional, your nose to the grindstone, communicate with your team. And
so if your name is Lazy Data, you just keep that on.
That's right.
But enough about that, ladies and gentlemen. It's time to talk about the next seasonal event, Broken Hearts Day, and we've got the first look.
First look.
All right, guys, let's talk about Broken Hearts Day. I have bullet points here from Gearbox themselves. I'll read to you now. Much like Bloody Harvest, you'll see special enemies with hearts hovering around them. Shooting these hearts produces any number of unique effects, from buffing your party's damage output to temporarily converting an enemy to an ally to simply exploding into a pile of loot. I like that one. Yeah, that's the one I want. Plus, the more hearts you shoot, the more rewards you unlock, with 5 total rewards up for grabs, including special legendary items unique to this event. Unlike Bloody Harvest, you will be able to toggle this event on and off. More about that later. This event will be live soon, and you should check out Borderlands.com and Borderlands social channels for full details for exactly when it'll be live and what's going on with it. First take, Fran, go.
I'm just excited they have an event that's free.